This tail end of 2023 has been crazy, hasn't it? What's up, guys? It's Jade here for the Jade Gossip Channel. And I'm going to tell y'all, if you are listening to the sound of my voice and you have a channel, a gossip channel, a messy channel, and you're talking about Jakes, you may get your channel struck because TD Jakes has not admitted to, nor will he admit to any of these allegations. So receipts are what needs to be pulled. If you do not have receipts, honey, all of this talk about his sexual positions is going to get your channel snatched. Now, my channel's not monetized, okay? Now, if you want to slide me a little something in my Cash App, feel free. The information is in my description box. However, let's be clear. Receipts have not been exposed about Jakes. Now, if you've been following this crazy situation with Jakes, you know that he stepped up in his pulpit and he does what he does best. See, if you look at Jakes, especially as he rose to fame, just take away the fact that he is a pastor and imagine that he's a magician. If you can imagine that, you can see what he's doing. You can see him for who he is, okay? So when he gets into the pulpit, remove the fact that he claims that he's a man of God and insert the fact that he's a magician. Pretend you're at a bootleg magician show in Vegas. That's essentially who Jakes is. Now, I'm not going to pile on any allegation because I don't have no receipts. Most people, 99.9% on TikTok and on YouTube, maybe a little bit on Facebook, have no receipts. So he's not going to admit to anything in the pulpit. You see, as a magician, it's your job to distract people on one side of the stage. So on the other side of the stage, you can't see how the trick unravels. You know, usually you smoke and mirrors and all kinds of optical illusions to cover up the reality. Okay, so before his speech or his whatever you want to call that on Christmas Eve that everybody was, tuned in to watch, before that, his wife was playing in the pulpit as well. Now, she pretended that, she was healed and she was like, I don't know what that was called. She's a magician too. Now, she's not as masterful with the craft, but she does her own little 1-2 when she wants to. She was pretending that she was healed and she was puttering across the stage and everybody was clapping. That was cute, but like a good magician, that was a distraction because Daddy Jakes knew that things were brewing under the surface then. Everybody was talking about Diddy, and he was affiliated with Diddy, right? We're not going to go down that road. You've all seen the pictures of them together. Now, Jakes passed on the craft to his daughter. And she's all right. She's not as entertaining as a magician, but she does her thing. Like, remember that time when her wig slid back? Now, we really want us to believe that a grown woman that's on stage that wears wigs and weaves is going to make sure her wig is secure. Now, we're not running to the gas station. We're not running to the corner store. We're not running to Dollar Tree. You're getting on stage in front of thousands of people. You're going to make sure your wig is secure. The way her wig was jacked up in the back, that's not a hairstyle. Any other time, her hair would be in a decent hairstyle, right? I'm sure she has hairstylists that get her hair together before she gets on stage. When she stepped on that stage like a good magician, she had that wig jacked up in the back perfectly. So as she started to speak, that wig was going to slide on back. Now let's be real. If you wear wigs and weaves, you can feel your wig slipping, right? You can feel your wig slipping. So she learned how to use the tricks of the trade, to use props to get people's attention. So she's an all right magician. She's not as good as her daddy, but she's getting there. Now, Jake's perfected his magician skills over the years. Everybody knows his origin story. He started out as a pastor in West Virginia. He met his wife, and this was in the late 70s, early 80s. They get married. He adopts her children. She had children before him. They move to Texas. They start the Potter's house, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. We know his origin story. Okay, so throughout the years, he was able to perfect his craft. That's what he's doing, is a craft. Okay, it's entertainment. People love that kind of stuff. He's had a successful career as a magician. Like I said, strip away the fact that he claims he's a man of God and insert magician. Okay, and all of this will make sense. See, that's why he was affiliated with Diddy, Puffy, Dr. Love, whatever he's calling himself these days. Now, Puffy had the envelope, he had the coin to keep his ministry going. Daddy Jakes loves money. And, whenever a black celebrity gets in trouble, they get in trouble with the law, they do something crazy, they need a respected religious figure on their side. Now, Al Sharpton doesn't have the power like he used to. Because, most people would just go get Al Sharpton. But, yeah, his star has faded. And he's not as good as a magician. He don't hoop and holler and, fall out like Jakes can do. You need somebody on your side that's respected in the black community as a religious leader. So, just like in politics, people have like Olivia Pope figure, right, to clean up things. Well, a black celebrity like Diddy, who's into some other stuff behind the scenes, when some of that stuff bubbles up on the surface, all you gotta do is keep somebody like Jake's on as a retainer. Pay him a little bit, throw him some money, and he is going to make things all right. See, all he has to say is, oh, we're going to pray for him. He's got a demon on him, the enemy, the adversary. Now, with somebody like Jake's on your side, you can pretty much get away with anything, Like I said, there's a lot of people in the black community that if you just say, oh, we're going to pray for him, he fell from grace, and we're going to pray, throw in a couple of scriptures, it's a lot of people that would just let it go, right? But this stuff about Diddy, I don't know if Daddy Jake's magician skills are strong enough, okay? Now, a lot of people have been talking about somebody else, especially since Christian Keys released his video a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people have been saying that your boy over in Atlanta has been, essaying people. Now, Christian needs to just go ahead and release the tapes. He claims he's got recordings on pens, baby. You need to release that. But this video is not about that. This is about Jake's and his skills to cover up things. And see, Christian didn't realize, and I don't, Christian probably doesn't go to church like that, and he doesn't realize the power that Jake's has to cover up certain things in the black community. That's why Tyler Perry has him on retainer as well. You see, Tyler, he keeps Jake's well stocked in cash to cover up his stuff that's bubbling up under the surface in his life. A lot of people were upset with Jakes because of his, his affiliations with another pastor who recently passed away. And I don't remember him mentioning Carlton Pearson. This is not a church sector blog that I have here, but I'm Black, I'm Southern. I know you hear the accent. And, I found it interesting because he kind of got his start with him, but he really didn't make a lot of comments about the passing of his mentor, but he's addressing these allegations low key in the pulpit. Don't you find it interesting? Something that's not of God, that's something that's essentially in the world you're addressing, but you're not addressing the passing of your mentor. Now, I know Larry Reed kind of called him out on that, but I'm not going to go deeply into that, but I just find that interesting. And I know a lot of people fell out with Carlton Pearson because of his comments on hell. He basically said hell does not exist. And if you've been following Jakes, I think Jakes is affiliated with the Church of God in Christ, although I think he kind of has formed his own denomination in an interesting way. A lot of people are obsessed with sending people to hell. But that whole situation is very interesting. But the fact that he's low-key addressing allegations in the pulpit, but did not address the fact that his mentor passed away, I find that interesting too. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. Now I just want to go back to the video of him when he was in the pulpit on December 24th, baby. His hands were shaking. I don't think I've ever seen a pastor so nervous. And this is not the first time a pastor has been caught up in some mess. But the way this mess is interwoven, you got all of these allegations coming out at one time. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. And when you look at the video where he's talking, pay attention to his body language. Normally, he usually has confidence and, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for years. He's been a pastor since the late 70s. And so it's kind of like autopilot for him, right? But since these allegations have come out, man, he couldn't even pick up that tablet. His hands were shaking. His voice was shaky. And a lot of people have been tuning in to the Potter's house and tuning in to different things that he's been posting. And he knows the only reason why a lot of people are watching is because of the stuff online. And I'm sure his people behind the scenes have been coaching him on what to say and what not to say. But if you watch him, you know that he's a very prideful man. And it's because of that pride that's going to cause him to fall from grace. Now, on the flip side, a lot of people feel sorry for his wife. They're looking at his wife and they're trying to look at her face. And, a lot of people were trying to see if the wife is sad or if she was crying and all that stuff. I don't have time for any of that. Okay? And you shouldn't either. Because if you've been married to a man for over 40 years, basically, they've been together since the late 70s. She knows her husband. She knows Jakes. She knows Jakes better than we know him. She knows the real Jakes. She's a magician too. I told y'all at the beginning of this video, every last person in that family who touches the pulpit, who stands up on camera. Now his other kids, I don't know if they know the craft, but every one of his family members that get up in the pulpit, honey, he's taught them the craft as well. His wife knows her husband. Oh, see, a lot of people are delusional about first ladies, and they think that she's blindsided by all this stuff. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's a magician too. Like I said earlier, with her puttering around, talking about her feet or ankles or whatever was wrong with her legs or healed. I remember seeing a clip where she was casting out demons. Child, she's a magician too. I'm trying to tell you guys, go back and watch the clips of her in the pulpit. She knows what her husband is up to. And like I said, nobody has concrete receipts. And they're not going to have receipts because unless somebody has a hidden camera of Jake's at a Diddy party and, people have been... People have been throwing around the phrase power bottom. It's a lot of black women who had no clue about gay terminology. Y'all learned in December 2023 what a power bottom was. Congratulations. But none of this has been, people said, oh, it was on a burner phone. Where the phone at? That's something, as far as we know, we don't know if that's true or not. We don't know if that's true or not. So, if it is true, though, if that is his proclivity of choice, she knows. His wife knows. Now, Jakes is going to be working overtime because he's got Diddy as a client, okay, that has slid him some envelopes. And I don't know how he's going to... I low-key feel a little bad for Jakes because there's no class for mega pastors who like to hang out with rappers. There's no manual. And that's the problem. The main manual, the Bible that he was supposed to be preaching out of in the pulpit. If he was still in West Virginia, he wouldn't have had these issues. But he has to cover up Diddy stuff. Now people are saying that he was doing some stuff at the parties. Okay. Then he's got his main client in Atlanta, and these are the clients that he claims in public. Like, we've seen him with these people in public, okay? I don't know who other, celebrities, black celebrities, he's working with that's sliding him envelopes behind the scenes. But, his main client over there in Atlanta, Christian Keys, has been trying to, you know what Christian said. Christian, Lord have mercy. But Mr. Perry over there, he's been sliding, Jake's envelopes over the years, many envelopes, thousands of dollars to his ministry to cover up things, We still don't know where is the baby at? I don't know where his son is. His son, how old is his son? Like 10 years old? And we don't know, was that his girlfriend or his baby mama? Where is she at? I don't know where any of this stuff is going. I don't know how Jakes is going to work all this stuff out because now he got his own allegations. He has Diddy allegations he got to cover up. And he got to cover up his client in Atlanta. Y'all, I don't know how he going to do all this, y'all. I don't know. I don't know how he going to do it. January is going to be tight. January 2024. Oh my gosh. Now, it's clear that he doesn't have a crisis team or somebody he's working with. Now, he's a fixer. Like I said, he's on retainer by these powerful entertainers. But he doesn't have someone to tell him what to say. And it's obvious. Based on his response, the fact that he even addressed it lets you know that he does not have a fixer of his own. He does not have a crisis team behind him, because a pastor who was faced with something like this and who really didn't want to be affiliated with any of the allegations would not have even said anything. Okay? He would have doubled down. He would have hooped and hollered. He would have made sure the magicians in the back, his daughters and his wife, they were on point. Their hair was done, everything's done. Them smiling, acting like nothing was wrong. Okay? The magicians would have been, he would be the main magician on stage and just preach like he normally would. Just go on about his business, not even saying anything. But the fact that he said something at all about the allegations lets me know two things. He does not have advisors, okay? Or he has advisors and he's not listening to them. Again, being a very prideful person, which is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. He knows that as a pastor. He should, right? So option number one, if he does not have anybody in his corner to tell him, look, don't even address it. There's no receipts. There's no proof. Don't say anything. Just deliver your sermon. Put a little extra sauce on it. Hoop and holler like you normally do. Be a little extra. And just go on about your business. And don't even acknowledge that any of this stuff is going on. That lets me know that he has put everybody else in the religious world. He's burned bridges. Okay? He doesn't have anybody in his corner. He doesn't have anybody on his back. He's just out there winging it. Or he has people, but he's not listening to them, which is even more dangerous. Because in this moment, that's what he needs. He needs a fixer of his own. He's so used to fixing everybody else's mess, but now it's time to fix his own, and he does not have any covering at all. Now, this is not his first time dealing with, sexual-based allegations. I'm going to keep it cute for YouTube. This is not the first time. They found his son up there in the park, okay? People that are affiliated with the Jakes have said that his son is part of the LGBTQ community. I don't have proof of that, but that's the rumor. Okay, I'm just speaking on a rumor that was told to several people who are close to that camp. Okay, and he was caught in the park under some, sexual misconduct. Okay, y'all can put the pieces together on that one. And so people have been saying for years that he is in that community. And so he, Jake's, like I said, he has a degree in covering things up. So he covered that up. They moved on. They went on about their lives. But you see, his son isn't hanging out with Diddy. Okay? His son isn't going to these, interesting parties. But Daddy Jake's is. So the fact that he got so prideful and so comfortable with attending and being affiliated with a celebrity that is not even attached to the gospel world. Like, I could see if he was, hanging out with Lecrae, or hanging out with, who else could I see him hanging out with? I don't know, Kurt Franklin. Like, I could see, okay, if he went to a Kurt Franklin concert and people saw him backstage and he was taking pictures with Kurt Franklin and some of the Clark sisters and Tamala Mann, that would make more sense, right? That would make more sense. But no, he's taking pictures with Diddy, of all people, right? Of all people. Like I said, this is not the first time a pastor has been affiliated with a rapper. But this is the first time that we've seen a pastor get too comfortable hanging out with a rapper who has a checkered sexual past. And at this point, we all know about the settlement that Diddy made with Cassie. We know all the tea about that. So this is TD Jakes' fault. He got too comfortable. Now, most people would be asking, okay, so what's the solution, right? What's the solution? What can make this right? The only solution at this point, and I know he's not going to do it, the only solution to make all this go away is for TD Jakes to go back to West Virginia. I know, that sounds crazy, right? And you know he's not going to do that. What he's going to do is try to fight these allegations, try to hold on, try to cover stuff up. He's going to do some more magic tricks. I'll be interested to see what he's going to pull out of his hat this time, what kind of rabbit he's going to pull out of the hat. But the only way that he can beat this situation is to go back to West Virginia, to go back to his humble beginnings. And we all know he's not going to do that. So let's just take a seat and just wait for everything to fall. And I will post more videos as this Jake scandal unravels. If you like this video and you like my content, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you have a comment, put it in the description box or the comment section. Let me know how you feel. This has been Jay Gossip for the Gossip Channel. I'll see you in another video. Bye.